Good morning, New Prague area schools and New Prague area community. My name is Tony Buthe, Director of Educational Services, and we'd like to welcome you to our last episode of Supt Talk. As you can see, Superintendent Dittburner is not with us today. He had some other obligations that he had to be part of. So we're going to start out today with introducing some fine young gentlemen that we have from our New Prague High School. To my left is Garrett Giles, Nathan Warnamundi, and Christian Gage. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning. Morning.
We're here today to talk about a few of our club activities that we have that take part in our school and also offer a lot of a variety for our kids to be part of. And that is super mileage and robotics. And I'm going to have Garrett and Nathan talk a little bit about super mileage, and we're going to have Christian talk about robotics. So let's start with you, Nathan. Just kind of tell our viewers that maybe don't know exactly what super mileage is, kind of what it is all about.
Well, the Super Mileage Club was a club that was founded 4 years ago by Mr. Bear, and the competition, you build a one-man car designed specifically for high fuel economy. So it's not about building the fastest car, it's about making it so it uses as little gasoline as possible. So we've been competing for the last 3 years here, and we just completed our third competition.
Third, yep.
So we did pretty well. We go up to Brainerd every year. That's where they hold the MTEEA Super Mileage Challenge, where a whole bunch of schools across the state come to the Brainerd International Raceway, and it's a 2-day competition, and you race your cars to see who can have the best mileage.
Okay, so Garrett, kind of give us a little bit of a picture of what that looks like here in New Prague High School. How many kids do we have involved in super mileage? Do you practice? When do you build the car, etc.?
Well, in the beginning of the school year, the first week we have the homecoming parade usually, and the car's in that, and then from that point on we tear down the whole car or start from scratch with a new car, and we build all the way till mid-May when we test the car. Usually it's about a week, 2 weeks before the competition is when we start getting miles on the car. There's no real good way for us to test the car here because we'll never be able to simulate the actual track here. Okay. So it's really hard to tell what our fuel economy is when we go up there. But our first couple of runs, we really can dial it in and start doing some major changes to figure out what to do right.
So as you can tell, there's a lot that goes into super mileage, and you both speak of that very well. I guess my question might be is there like a team captain, like in a sport maybe you have a captain? Is somebody more of an engineer and then the other people are more hands-on workers? How do you divide up some of the responsibilities?
Well, that's one of the things I like about super mileage is there are no formal ranking positions, so nobody has the ability to say, I'm a higher rank than you, we're going to do this because I say so. It's more of a smaller club. There are only 17 members, and so it's always, whenever there's a decision to be made, we all talk about it and we're all equals, so we all come to a decision together. And me, Garrett, and another member, Brian, we're the 3 seniors in the club, and the other 4 members, they're all sophomores. So we've been in it multiple years and they haven't. So they kind of look up to us a little bit for a little bit of guidance of what to do. And you know, our goal isn't to just do everything for them. We try and set them on a path and let them go on their own and figure out how to do it on their own so they can, future years be able to do it. And it's just it's not really a dictator type system.
So Garrett, last question. If we've got some viewers out there, maybe we've got some kids in junior high, 9th grade, even 10th grade, and this is the first time they've heard about super mileage, and they might be interested. Who should they contact? What kind of kids are we looking for that might like to take part in this?
To be honest, when a lot of people hear the high mileage, they think of Hicks, and that's what we don't want to put out there. This is a club that honestly could be for anybody. 2 years ago we had a female in our group. She was a great help. She was somewhat hands-on, but yet she did a lot of fundraising for us and helped out immensely. But anybody that wants to learn about how things work mechanically sometimes, or anybody that is good at technology, because this year we put fuel injection on our car. So that takes a lot of technology and mapping and diagnosing as well. But this club is for everybody, I would say. There's a part that anybody could take in this club. And if anybody was interested, for surely talk to Mr. Bear, our auto mechanics teacher.
Mm-hmm. And usually each year we put up flyers around the school at the beginning of the school year asking for new members. And you can be anyone to join. I joined when I was in my sophomore year, and I had never set foot in a shop really at all. I'd never done any sort of fabricating anything. And now I like to say decent at it, and the sophomores looked up to me for help for doing fabricating stuff like that, and I had no experience starting.
Good. All right. Well, let's roll over to Christian here in robotics. Christian, you heard what Super Mileage has. Can you tell us a little bit about robotics and what that all entails?
Robotics comes down to a 3v3 competition after a 6-month build season where we have to compete to get the most points. The actual competition is called a cooperation because in your 3x3 team, you are still competing against them. But throughout that whole 6-month build phase, you still have to have the money, you have to have the design for your robot, and you have to make it in the amount of time. Throughout the rest of the year, you're fundraising and you're making sure that you are going to have a team for next year.
Okay. So kind of like the guys did over here too, how many people are involved in robotics? Do you practice when you work on the robot?
Including the seniors that are leaving, we have, I think, 13 or 14 members. And when the seniors leave, we're going to have 8 members for the next year. We usually have a work day on every Monday. So if you are interested in joining, you can join us on Monday after schools. And during the 6-week build season, we meet every day after school for about 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, wow. And Christian, where is that and who is your advisor?
Our advisor is Mr. Lockhart at the middle school. He is the wood shop.
Industrial technology, I believe, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, well, as you can see, we have some wonderful young men here. And I guess one question for maybe both of you, if somebody would like to watch, everything's video nowadays. I'm sure you probably videotape the car. I'm sure you probably videotape your competitions. Do you guys put them on any website anywhere or YouTube?
For Super Mileage, what we usually do is we're too busy at the competition to really, our team's not large enough to have, some of the larger teams have like a news type team member where they go around and their sole job is to record the event and stuff. We're a little smaller, so we don't have that ability, but the competition is open to the public. It's in mid-May every year up at Brainerd, so you can come watch if you want. And you can go on the official website for Super Mileage, and they'll always have some basic videos that they made and put up. And I know for the robotics one, I'm also in robotics, the competition is also open to the public. It's at the University of Minnesota, so you can just go anytime you want, just hop in, take a seat, and just watch some of the competitions.
Wonderful. Well, gentlemen, I really thank you very much, Garrett, Nathan, and Christian, for being with us here today. And it's a couple really wonderful clubs that we have. A lot of good participation from our kids in high school, and we always want to provide as much as we possibly can. But you guys are all 3 wonderful ambassadors of those 2 programs, and we thank you for your time today. We'll be right back after a short message. Welcome back to Soup Talk. I'm here with Adam Panko, a 5th grader at Falcon Ridge Elementary. And as you can see behind us, we've got a science fair project. Adam was part of the New Prague Community Education sponsored science fair this year, and also went on to a regional in Mankato. Adam, welcome to Soup Talk.
Thank you.
So give our viewers a little bit of an idea of what your project was and kind of how you did, Adam.
Okay. Well, my project that I did was, does cube size matter? I picked this project because I love solving Rubik's Cubes, and I just kind of wanted to know what cube size would allow me to get the best times after I saw all the different size cubes. I also picked this because I just wanted to do a project that I enjoyed doing. What I did for my project was I wanted to know which size Rubik's Cube, the 57 millimeter, which is the standard size, the 55 millimeter cube, the 50 millimeter cube, or the 42 millimeter cube would allow me to get my best times. For my hypothesis, I predicted that my participant and I would get our best times on the standard size cube because we are used to using it the most because it's the standard size, so most cubes that we solve are that size. I also feel it will get our times, give us our best times because I think it fits our hands the best. Some of the variables I had for this project was the brand of cube, which these are all the same brand, the tensions on the cube, which I got as close as possible, the scrambles that I used for the cube, which are right here, and I'll talk more about that in my procedure, the reaction time to stop the timer after I was done solving the cube, the amount of inspection time I used before I started solving my cube, and the number of times each scramble was used, so how used to I was to a scramble. The materials I used was a pencil and paper for writing down the results, an iPad app for timing myself, all the cubes, a camera for taking pictures, and a calculator for adding up the results. So for my procedure, first I had a pencil, paper, and timer for writing down results and taking pictures. And then I picked out these 4 separate scrambles that I would use on the cubes. I created this chart that I would write down my results on. And then I had my dad scramble the 4 cubes for me, each one using one of these scrambles, and then after that, after I'm done solving those, I write down the results, and then I do that again, except for this time I do a different scramble for each cube until each cube has gotten all of those scrambles, and that would count as 1 trial. And I had 4 trials, 3 of them were me, and the 4th one was my participants. For the final results here, as you can see, the 50 millimeter did do the best, slightly better than the 57 millimeter cube did. That would surprise me a little bit, but not that much. But they were very close. So I can conclude that my results did not support my hypothesis. I predicted that the 57 millimeter cube would provide me with my best times, while through my testing though, I found that the 50 millimeter cube actually gave me my best times. It wasn't that surprising because I can now conclude that cube size does not matter, which I was not expecting that though, but the different ones did surprise me. But it doesn't really matter, but I found out that what does matter is this cube scrambles. As you can see here, I did much better on scramble 3 than on any of the other scrambles.
So Adam, if I could just interrupt you in a second.
Yeah.
When you went down to Mankato, how did you do down there? And then did you ever demonstrate that to the judges?
Yes. Well, I got first place in Mankato for regionals, but one of my last judge wanted me to solve the cube for him, so
Okay.
I did.
Do you think you would be able to do that for us today?
Yes.
Okay, can you pick your favorite cube and see how long it takes you? Well, we're going to time you.
Okay.
How does that sound? So we have to mess it up a little bit? I think we call that scrambling of the cube.
Yes.
Okay, so that's good enough? Okay, on your marks, get set, go. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Time. 28 seconds. Adam, We thank you so very much for being here today.
Thank you.
This is an amazing project by a 5th grader from Falcon Ridge. You have done a wonderful job explaining this, and we thank you so very much for being with us today.
And I just want to thank Jody Perkle and Community Ed for helping the science fair participants so much.
Outstanding. Thank you. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Supt Talk. I'm here with Brian Perkle, a senior at New Prague High School. Brian, welcome to Supt Talk.
Yeah, thank you.
So we had a wonderful guest, Adam, 5th grader from Falcon Ridge, just a few minutes ago. And now we get the advanced version. Our senior, Brian Perkle, has been involved in a lot of different activities, Brian. We were at Honors Night the other night, and you had some really nice awards. But we want you to focus today a little bit about your science fair, the project that you have performed at New Prague, at Mankato at the regionals, and then talk a little bit about your international science fair that you took place.
So this is my project here. I've been in the science fair for 9 years now, since 4th grade. And every year there's been a different topic. I've never done the same type of project before. And this year is definitely no different. I created homemade biodiesel from waste vegetable oil from Fishtail Grill here in town. So I picked up some waste vegetable oil from their deep fryers, where they use to deep fry their chicken, their fish, as well as their fries. And I chemically transformed that into biodiesel that I could run in a one-cylinder diesel engine, and I could compare its efficiency as well as exhaust pollutants to conventional diesel from on the farm. So I competed at 3 different places. First was at the school level, and at the school we basically talked about our projects, and all of us moved on from the school level as far as high schoolers were concerned. And next was the regional fair, which is in Mankato. And in Mankato, I finished in 1st place with my project, so I automatically got moved on to internationals. And then between those two is state. Now from state, there are also some awards given that advance you on to the international fair. Although, since I moved on from regions, I kind of bypassed state. So at internationals, that was in Pittsburgh, and that was a lot of fun. We were there for a week, and we stayed in a pretty nice hotel. But as far as the science is concerned, there's 1,800 kids from 70 different countries represented there. And it is so amazing, all the different varieties of projects that are there. And all in all, I ended up completing in 4th place in my category. And of those, 12 kids in my category got any sort of award. And there were a total of 49 in the category. So roughly about 10 or so percent, or 10 or 15% of the students who were in my category actually got any sort of award. So I was very happy about that.
Well, there's so many wonderful things, Brian, that you have done. When you do something like this, personally, how does that make you feel after you have worked so hard on it, the accomplishments that you got, not only at the local level, regional level, but even at the international? So how does that kind of make you feel as a high school student?
It just feels great to be representing both New Prague as well as science in such a large atmosphere. It's just so cool to do all these different projects, and it makes me feel so good because I get to go to places and talk to more and more people about various topics. So I'll talk to professionals. Like a couple of years ago, I talked about methane. I did a project on methane. So I actually went to a farm that had 3,600 milking cows. And that was such an experience just to see all these cows in one barn, and that they're on a carousel milker that keeps moving. It was just so cool. I've been in a couple of wind turbines as well, since I did some projects dealing with wind.
So Brian, I was at the Honors Night the other night, and you got some awards there for some things. I know you're involved in a lot of different activities. You mind just kind of telling our viewers, as a senior here, and there's parents out there watching, and probably some kids watching too, just kind of tell us a little bit about some of the activities you've also been involved in, and how it is important to try and be involved in as many possible things as you can while you're in high school.
All right, so obviously I'm part of science fair, but on top of that, I'm part of robotics, the super mileage team, and I was part of the trap team for a couple of years, and I'm part of Rube Goldberg, and also I am very involved in 4-H, and also in parts.
Yeah, so you can see there's a lot of different things that you're involved in. Do you ever run out of time?
I do run out of a lot of time, and then school on top of all of that.
Yes. Speaking of school, can you tell us what your plans are for next year?
I plan on moving on to South Dakota State University for a degree in mechanical as well as agricultural engineering.
Wonderful. Well, we thank you very much for coming in and sharing this, and congratulations on all your accomplishments, and best of luck next year at SDSU.
Thank you.
Okay? We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Supt Talk. I am here with Paige Precker. Paige Precker is a senior at the New Prague High School, and she is going to talk to us a little bit about an activity that we have within the school called Rube Goldberg. So, Paige, if you can kind of tell our viewers, this is something that is fairly new. Kind of give us a little bit of an idea of what Rube Goldberg is all about, who your advisor is, how many kids are involved, and just kind of give us a little synopsis of Rube Goldberg.
All right, well, Rube Goldberg, he was an artist a little back ago, and he created these comics where he had these lot of little contraptions that happened, and each one of them triggered another and another thing, and it was quite humorous. And now we have a machine called a Rube Goldberg, which is really just a comically structured machine that solves a simple task. And this year what we had to do was erase a chalkboard. And we had 4 people on our team this year, which the minimum's 3, so we just made it in. And our advisor was Rich Wilson.
Okay. So a simple task of erasing a board. So
Yes.
we don't have, I think we have a visual here.
We have the starting piece right here.
We have a starting piece, but can you kind of paint a picture for our viewers out there of what this machine might look like? How did the 4 people build it? What kind of tools did you use, or what equipment did you use to build this machine? And is it battery operated? Is it electrical? I'm imagining an arm erasing a whiteboard.
Well, it's not all like that. So we have a set space we need to figure out. So we have this little frame and all that where we put all our things. And inside of it is 20 different steps. And right here we have the first one. This is Thor's hammer, which started it all. And we had it swing from up top here, and this went and hit a toy car. And the toy car went and hit another thing, which hit another thing and made another thing fall. And that happened about 23 or 24 times of different things happening.
Okay. And then at the very end, the last thing that hit.
Yeah, we had this ramp where we had a chalkboard that moved, which is very unique at the competition. No other team had a moving chalkboard. Our chalkboard moved down this ramp, and then on top of this ramp we had feather dusters, which we put water on top of. So when it slid down the ramp, at the same time it was also erased.
Okay, so I think I have an idea of how that chalkboard was erased. And that's a good thing. So as our viewers are watching this is kind of a club activity through the New Prague schools, and there was a competition? How many other schools were there? Where was it at?
All right, it was at Mankato State, and I think there were about 12 other teams that went there.
Okay.
And like for ours, it's just 9th through 12th grade students at New Prague High School. But at some other schools, these were classes of AP Physics students.
Oh.
And they were creating these machines. So when we went there, I think we did very good, assuming that we were just 4 students. 2 of us were completely new at this, me and Abigail.
Okay.
And like we did not place there, but we did get most artistic and best themed. And everyone around us kept coming back to us like, oh, that looks so cool, and they were pointing out all these little things. But they're doing the same thing with teams with 12 different people in there.
Sure. If some of our viewers are watching and a person wanted to get involved in this next year, who should they contact?
All right, you should probably look in the fall catalog of the community education, and that's where we'll have all the information about joining Rube Goldberg next year.
Okay. Paige, you're a senior.
Yes.
Do you mind sharing what your plans are for next year?
Well, I'm stuck between 2 colleges. I want to go get my associates in fine arts, and I'll either be going to Normandale Community College or I'll be going to Lake Region State College in North Dakota.
Wonderful. Well, we thank you so very much. I'm hold on to Thor's
Thank you.
hammer here so we don't get hit. But thank you so much for being with us today, and
Thank
congratulations on your Rube Goldberg project.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Supt Talk, and I am here with our Director of Community Services, Ms. Janelle Kirsch. Good morning, Janelle.
Good morning, Tony.
And we have had some wonderful guests today. The students that we have had on Supt Talk today, I am very impressed. I am very excited about our youth. We've had some seniors. We've had young Adam from the 5th grade at Falcon Ridge, our science fair projects. I am so excited, Janelle, and I know you have a lot to do with that. Before we kind of get into some of the more details there, can you just kind of give me a little synopsis on how the school year has gone through community services and some of the accomplishments maybe that you feel really good about?
Okay. Well, community services has been very busy this school year, as we are every year. But we feel really good about the fact that our preschool has gotten 240 kids ready for kindergarten next year. So that's a really big accomplishment for us. We have started a new WRAP program, which is a wraparound preschool. It's a child care program for our preschool kids when their parents are working. That went over very well this year, and it is growing by leaps and bounds for next year, so it's only going to get bigger and better. Our school age care program just has really taken off also. We are running about 90 children before school at Raven and at Falcon, so that's really exciting for us too. And as you can see, our science fair did a great job. Just all of our activities have been really busy this year and going strong.
Okay.
Our community's been very involved.
Yeah, and that's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing for our community.
Yeah.
Speaking of community, yep, we know our K through 12th grade students are kind of 9-month community members. Now that the summer months are here, do activities kind of slow down a little bit, or what goes on in the summertime with community education?
Well, in community education, we're just gearing up. Our summer is very busy. We've got a lot of activities going on. Actually, we've got about 600 different things that we're offering this summer in our summer catalog. So things are not going to be on vacation mode in community ed.
You know, being a former football coach, I know I always ran my football camp through community education. Can you just, name a few things maybe, some of the sports things that a lot of maybe kids take part in, some things for senior citizens, some things for youth?
Yep. Well, this summer, our traditional sports camps are going, and those are going very strongly already. Registrations are coming in really well for the football, basketball, baseball, volleyball, wrestling, all of those types of camps. We've also got some new sporting events that are really exciting for us. We just started a lacrosse program. We are doing rugby this summer. We're doing pickleball for students, but we're also working with the city of New Prague to bring pickleball in for our older people also. So we're looking at setting up some pickleball courts in Northside Park, and we're hoping that that is very well received.
All right. You don't have to eat any pickles to play or anything, do you?
No, actually, the game pickleball has nothing to do with pickles.
Oh.
It actually was named that because of a guy his dog's name was Pickles.
Okay.
And when he played this game, the dog chased the ball all the time, and that's how it got to be Pickles Ball.
Okay.
Pickleball. Yeah.
Well, I might check that one out, Janelle. You said for older people.
Yeah, actually it's for all ages, but you certainly would be able to play. Yeah. In addition to that, though, we've got some other really fun new things happening this summer. We've got Yoga by the Lake, which is going to be a morning or an evening opportunity for people to go out to Cedar Lake Farm and do yoga outside with the beautiful lake in the background. Elko Newmarket just got some new archery equipment, so community education is doing an archery program out there this summer. We are doing a lot of things with Capel Stables, so we've got some horse camps coming up. Volleyball has the U of M at Morris doing a volleyball camp this summer, as well as Dan Brown volleyball camp. So 2 college level camps coming in, which is a big thing. So we've got a lot going on. In addition to that, we have a lot of STEM classes going on, so you can find a lot of classes that really talk about science, technology, math.
Okay.
It's exciting.
Well, as you can tell, community education is never resting.
Never resting.
My last question to you, Janelle, and you've explained to us everything kind of going on this year and wonderful things this summer. If there was one goal or one theme for maybe even next year for community services, an emphasis put in one area, what might that be?
Well, we want to continue to grow our programs and to meet the needs of everybody in the community. So we're working really hard to bring in more senior citizen activities and more things for our preschool population beyond the traditional preschool classes.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much to Janelle being with us today. Thank you for all of the students who are with us today. As I always say, they're wonderful ambassadors of our school district and our community, and our parents and our schools definitely should be very proud of the kids that we have, and our administrators too that administer the programs. On behalf of Mr. Dittbrenner, who couldn't be here again today, we would like to thank you all for viewing into Supt Talk. This will be our last Supt Talk of the school year. We will regroup over the summertime and come back next fall with even a bigger and better and more dynamic Supt Talk for next year. I would like to also thank one person behind the scenes, and you can't see him. Maybe he'll put a picture of himself up on the website. Mitch Peterson, who works for our technology department, is always behind the camera, helping to bring this live on our website. So we thank him so very much, Mitch, and we appreciate that. Everybody have a wonderful summer, and we'll see you next fall.